And what time did you check out this morning?
8, I
8.
think. When you called earlier
Mhm.
this morning, we had just got home,
Mm-hmm.
and I unpacked our few bags,
Mm-hmm.
and our neighbor just down the way is a real good friend of ours, and he's in the government in some capacity.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he's in law enforcement. I don't know which branch.
Right.
But we were going to go, talk to him, and,
Mhm.
and like, do you know anybody in the sheriff's department that we could talk to? Because, I didn't want it to happen the way it did. The way it did is sheriff came with AR-15s, and so I was trying to avoid that.
Yeah.
And, it's like, I give up.
Um,
But that's where you called
Mhm.
when I was out the door to go.
Unbeknownst to me, I didn't know at the time that they had actually they were actually responding before I even got on the phone to them. So when you and I were talking, unbeknownst to me, they were already alerted to your presence there. So.
Well, maybe my neighbor. Oh.
I don't know.
Yeah, because, I told me.
Right. That's why I said I was being honest with you when I said I'll give you 5 minutes to, kind of, like you said I'll be out the door in 5 minutes. I said, okay. The gun, is it your gun?
Yes, it's a gun I've had since like 1990.
Okay. What kind is it?
It's a Taurus PT-92.
Okay. You know what caliber?
9mm.
9mm. Do you normally keep it in your glove box?
Always.
Always in your glove box. And you said you kept it holstered?
Yeah, it's a holster that's for inside the waistband,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm a little heavy. I used to carry it, but I'm too heavy.
So now you just keep it in the glove box?
I just keep it in the glove box.
Okay. Where is that gun now?
It's in my glove box.
It's still in the glove box. Okay. In your car. And your car is at your residence currently, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. How many, do you normally keep it fully loaded? Okay, you keep it fully loaded but not chambered. You had to chamber it?
I don't. My military friends think I'm an idiot, but I just don't.
Okay, no, that's what I'm saying. You normally don't keep it chambered. You knew you'd have to rack one and put one in the chamber. Okay.
Yes, it's a practice
right.
maneuver.
Right.
Well.
No, I know. I'm aware. I know. I know you're in a strange town, and you have this traumatic event happen to you, and I can understand that. Okay. The problem, I can tell you, where we start to kind of get a little wondering is by the time you say you get to your hotel room, you're calling to order pizza. Why aren't you calling us?
I wanted to come back to my hometown to do that, so Rhonda and our dog and everybody were where they needed to be. I didn't want to bring a shitstorm down on them in Jacksonville.
Okay. Well, I mean, it wouldn't. They haven't. I mean, Rhonda hasn't done anything to be worried about. She hasn't.
True.
It's not like, she's there.
Yeah.
There's nothing she did wrong.
I was, I shouldn't even left the scene,
Mm-hmm.
but I left the scene because I was still afraid for.
Okay, and I can live with that. Okay, I can live with that. You don't necessarily want to hang around right where the shooting happened because you don't know if these guys are coming back. I'm good with that.
Or if there are more.
But once you leave and you are away from that scene, and you've even gotten to a hotel room and inside your hotel room at that point, now it makes me wonder, because if you make a phone call, one, we find out, a lot quicker what's going on. Okay. The reason he and I haven't been to sleep since sometime yesterday is because we're trying to figure out, all we know is we got a dead kid in a car, okay, and we got a guy who shot and hauled ass. That's all we know. You see what I'm saying?
I do, and Rhonda pushed me to call you guys last night, and I was insistent on waiting until we got around people we knew.
Okay. I mean, I'm just, that's where we start to get a little concerned. It starts to be, and I'll, we can speak to. I personally have had a case with an individual who was moving to Jacksonville, first day in Jacksonville, and got involved in an incident and felt threatened and shot another person and was in their car, and he drove across the street to another parking lot and got on the phone with 911 immediately and started walking police into where he was. That's the way
I have nothing to say other than
Some other problems that we have too. When you begin to shoot, can you honestly tell us that you ever saw a gun inside that vehicle?
I saw a barrel come up on the window, like a single shot shotgun where there's a barrel. I didn't see this part of the barrel. I saw that part of the barrel, and it was either a barrel or a stick. But sir, they're like, we're gonna kill you. And then they say, you're dead, bitch. I mean, I didn't wait to look to see if they were going to point it at me. He reached down and picked it up.
And you say he, who reached down and picked it up?
Well, hopefully it's the guy that I hit. Though it was.
Where was he sitting when he reached
He
down
was
and
sitting
picked
in
it up?
the rear passenger side.
Okay.
And that's the guy that was really agitated. And then that's the guy that I asked, are you talking about you're going to kill me? Like I said, I didn't know what, My window is up. He was saying a lot, but that's what came through. And I put my window down to ask him.
And the music is still playing at this time? And
Yes, but he is really loud and really animated.
Louder than the music that's bothering you?
Yes, well, the music was a nuisance at first. With my car shut and the windows up, and you just hear the heavy bass. And like I said, I just said, hey, would you mind turning it down? And they did. They shut it off, which, I said, thanks. But it really wasn't an issue of loud music. It was an issue of them threatening my life.
But it started from me.
Absolutely, and that's when I started telling you guys
was playing when you pulled up?
No, it was not.
It was not?
No, it wasn't until Rhonda got out of the car and she'd been gone for a little bit. She wasn't in the store very long.
I shouldn't. I'm gonna say she's not in there very long.
Like we said, there's some issues that we have. I'll be the first to tell you there's no weapons in the car. I don't know what you saw.
That's possible. When they drove off, they dumped it?
They never left the parking lot.
Yeah, they drove out, circled right back around, and came right back to that spot.
Oh, okay, because
they circled around until they saw you leave, and then they drove right back. Because they saw you leave at that point.
They saw you leave, and they realized their friend had been hit. So they never left the parking lot.
They came right back at that point.
Okay. Well, I don't know what to tell you.
Here's what has to happen. I know that from your position right now that you're going to do everything to protect yourself, and I can't say that I blame you for that. But we're going to need the total truth as to what happened, not this story that I've had from 7:30 last night till 12 o'clock today to fix up. Okay, because the only thing that's going to make sense to us is the truth matching the scene. And there was the biggest problem we got, the first hurdle we got to get over is that there's no weapon in that truck.
Did he have a stick? Because he stuck something up.
I'll double check it. I don't recall seeing anything like that, really. But I'll double check it. I'll look again. But we, obviously our main thing is when we're going through, we're looking for any kind of weapons, any kind of evidence of a weapon, shell casing,
bullets. The second problem we have is that the last set of rounds when the truck is backing away from you, and you put 4 more sets in it, 4 more shots into it. That's an issue. Because now if it's backing away, is no longer a threat.
Yes, sir, I understand that. In my mind, they had a weapon.
Okay. I can't shoot someone because in my mind they had a weapon.
Okay.
That's the problem. I mean, if I walked up to someone right now and I'm having a confrontation with them and I think they have a weapon, the law doesn't allow me to shoot him because I think he has a weapon. I think you would have a hard time arguing with your statute versus any one of them that they could get out and beat you up.
Well, there's 4 of them.
Even the 4 of them. I think you would have a hard time arguing that the 4 of them could have done anything to you.
Yes, sir.
Let me ask you this: when you pulled your gun out, say you're sitting in your driver's seat like that, straight ahead. How did you shoot? Do you shoot one-handed? Do you shoot two-handed?
Two-handed, like that.
Two-handed, like this. You come across your body. Okay, and you shoot the first. What you said? 4 shots is what you remember. And they start backing out. Do you continue to shoot through the window, or do you reposition?
I don't recall, but I do remember getting out of my car and taking, like, getting sideways.
Mm-hmm.
And I was, like, waiting for the wink, or...
But once again...
all this is...
Okay. Once again, if you think they have something, think they have a shotgun.
They had a shotgun.
You think they have a shotgun. Are you going to get out of your car so they can get a good aim on you? Make any sense?
Well, at the time, I was doing everything on adrenaline and no...
But I'm just saying, we're trained to, if we think something is there, to get out of the way.
To get out of the way.
Cover or concealment. So you're telling me that you thought they had a shotgun, but you got out of your car so that they would get a good aim at you, is what you're telling me.
Well, I thought maybe they would shoot at the car and I wouldn't be in it.
But your car's not shooting at them. You are. Why would they shoot at your car?
Shadow, they can't. So, honestly, sir, I'm at a loss to justify what I did on the second volley,
right,
other than to say I thought they were going to be shooting back, and I was keeping them from doing that. And I was in such a panic. Fear for my life, for the love of my life. That I didn't,
fear for the love of your life. What had they done to Rhonda?
Well, had they been out of their truck doing whatever to me when she came out, they would have. I just assumed.
So once again, we're acting off assumptions.
Because they weren't out of their truck.
They were not out of the truck.
The guy was coming out of his truck.
The driver had gone in the store.
No, the guy that I was talking to,
mm-hmm,
the one that I shot, he was coming out of his truck. That's when he said, "You're dead, bitch," and opened the door.
Okay, and at that point where you shot?
That's the point where I went and grabbed my gun.
Okay.
Because I did, everything's fine. They're just talking, and then all of a sudden...
So you get the gun, rack it, and then reassess?
No, I didn't reassess.
So you went, grabbed gun, rack, came up?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you see him start to come out of the door of the truck. At that point, you turn to get your gun. Is that correct? You take it out of your glove box. You unholster it. You rack around, and you come back up on target.
Yes, sir. Fluid motion.
Okay. In the amount of time, he's starting to get out of the truck when you first start to go get your... But yet, by the time you come back and start shooting, he's still in the truck.
He's coming out. I think he saw what I was doing when it was running back in. I don't know. But
see, that's where I'm a little thrown off here. Okay. Because he is sitting in the back seat of that truck when he is hit. Okay? Because the bullet goes right through the door. 3 bullets went through that door. Okay? He wasn't hit standing outside the truck.
Oh no, I know I shot through the door.
Okay, so
driving him back.
How's he getting out of the door if you're shooting through it? You're confusing us.
All right. When the latch is coming off the door,
mm-hmm,
that's when I went to do what I was doing with the gun. And when I came back, I'm firing.
When the latch is coming off the door?
No, when I got my gun out of the...
When you said earlier about when you see the latch, what do you mean by the latch coming?
Well, the door's opening, and he's stepping out.
Okay, so, and he's stepping out.
Yes, and then
And you go and reach, but by the time you come back and come up just blazing, somehow he's still sitting in the truck.
Well, maybe I'm not as fast with the whole thing as I think I am, but it was...
Or maybe he wasn't getting out of the truck.
No, absolutely he was.
Here's the other problem we have. The guy in the front seat, the front passenger seat, he sees you.
He has a perfect view of the whole thing.
Right.
His window's up.
Mm-hmm.
He sees you getting the gun. So why would he let his friend get out of the truck when he sees you getting the gun?
Pardon?
Why would he allow the victim to be getting out of the truck when he already...
I have no idea. I mean, I think the guy in the front was the reason.
You also know that it was 7:30, 7:45 p.m. and the Gates gas station has several customers in the parking lot and everywhere. And we've interviewed several people. This is the very first time that anyone has told us about anyone getting out of a truck.
Okay.
And here's where I would have a question too is, you're saying you feel like you have a threat that this guy's got a shotgun in your view. Okay, so you think he's getting out of the car, okay,